Alright people, we are back. Unfortunately, in our final stages, where we were working the head and the legs, and we added finger details, I wasn't paying attention and the camera ran out of batteries. So, I think all that is lost. So, sorry about that guys. Just getting out the kinks for the new year. But we're on the painting process now. So we'll go ahead and show that. And we're already got our paints laid out, already got our flesh tones mixed up. And what I'm going to start with is a very small brush. I got to do some minor like fingernail details. The brush is a little too wet, damn it. I'm pretty happy with how he's turned out, though. He looks like the 3D version of himself. So, I mean, that's what we aim for doing these. I'll go ahead and I think I'm going to outline those in a dark green instead of black, because we're using a very light green for his little suit. Let's see. Can't decide whether to outline the mouth or not, so I don't think we will. Some shading for the nostrils, plural. Let's see. And the paint job should be fairly easy, fairly straightforward. I hate when people say this should be straightforward. Kind of a lazy way of explaining something. But I mean, really, now that we get our flesh tone mixed up, that's the hard part that's done with. We got flesh on his top of his head, here, fingers, little knee, and his toes that are sticking out. And then the rest is just green, black, for his little eye bandana, visor, whatever you want to call it. And if we had carved his cape, we'd be doing red, but we have a fabric cape. Here, I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. Some leftover fabric we had from making Christmas stockings. Just goes on his back and boom. Alright. Now that I'm thinking of it, let's go ahead and paint his little mask. I can't believe it, I wasn't paying attention and the old battery died. I've done it a few times before, but not to the extent of how much we got done. Well, I thought the camera was rolling and it wasn't. Now, as usual, we're using acrylics. So, unless you want that shiny look to it, you really want to thin it down with some water so it dries with a more flat look instead of shine. What do you people got against being prepared? Why aren't you calling somebody in Bixby, the police? We can't reach outside the valley because of the mountains. Mountain here, now I'm scared. The phone's out, the road's out. We're on our own. You two are just loving it, aren't you? Come on, Nate, just don't get personal about this. We gotta do something. There he is. We are completely cut off.
in Louisville has issued a this is a test message. Test tornado warning for the state of Kentucky. Until 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, this is a test message. This is a test message. Repeat, this is a test tornado warning message. There is no severe weather occurring at this time. This test warning message is part of the annual Kentucky tornado drill. If this were an actual severe weather event, you would be given information about the hazard. The National Weather Service, the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management, and the Kentucky Weather Preparedness Committee encourage the use of this time to activate and review your severe weather safety plans. Repeating, this has been a test tornado warning message for the 2018 Kentucky tornado drill. There is no severe weather occurring at this time. This concludes the test. This is a test message. Do not take action based on this message.
And that kind of stuff just so annoying. If you watch the news like I do, you already know that they were doing a test drill today. And give them some more details on those little notches of the ear. I want to just highlight the nostrils. It's where my anatomy gets a little rough. I forget what they're called. Where your nostril flares are. So got that. And the rest we're gonna highlight with a dark green. We had eyebrows we're gonna put on later, but that's after we do the flesh tones. So let's go ahead and highlight everything with our dark green. This is for our shading. We just want to lightly shade anything.
This message is for test purposes only. The National Weather Service in Louisville has issued a this is a test message. Test tornado warning for the state of Kentucky. Until 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, this is a test message. This is a test message. Repeat, this is a test tornado warning message. There is no severe weather occurring at this time. This test warning message is part of the annual Kentucky tornado drill. If this were an actual severe weather event, you would be given information about the hazard. The National Weather Service, the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management, and the Kentucky Weather Preparedness Committee encourage the use of this time to activate and review your severe weather safety plans. Repeating, this has been a test tornado warning message for the 2018 Kentucky tornado drill. There is no severe weather occurring at this time. This concludes the test. This is a test message. Do not take action based on this message.
I find it downright comical they really think that people have an emergency plan for severe weather. Being honest with yourself, most people don't think about it until they actually need a plan, and then it's kind of late by then. Alrighty, that. Shoot. Now, while we let the dark green dry, should dry pretty quick. While we let that dry, we're gonna go ahead and Should have done this a second ago. We're going to take our black and we're going to dot his stubble. I got a little heavy in that spot there, didn't I? What I'm doing right now is almost like a dry brushing technique. You're just dabbing a little bit of paint right on the tip of your brush, and then you're just kind of putting little pock marks on here. And then we'll go over it with our flesh tone. Yeah, Boogerman's really a role model. Sarcasm, by the way. He's out of shape, not clean shaven, burps, farts, picks his nose.
I don't see the eye. Must be totally subterranean.
I wonder why kids find that kind of humor so funny. I wonder if there's ever been any studies done on that. Alright, that should be good. And I think, instead of doing black to outline the mouth, I'm using some brown. Hopefully this doesn't come to bite me in the hind end. So I don't particularly like this brown, but it's all I had and I didn't feel like going out to buy more. This is like a burnt umber, so it's got quite a bit of red to it. When you put it on lightly like this, you can't really tell. But as soon as you start mixing it with other colors and whatnot, it changes to almost like a purple. Really, really frustrating. It ruins the look you're going for. But there we go. I outlined it pretty good. Alright, while I'm at it, let's go ahead and do our eyelid. Alrighty. Now we're ready for flesh tone. I have it a little too heavy, hopefully I don't. Like I said, we don't want to have a glossy sheen to nothing. Oh, in case you haven't seen other videos where I've made flesh tones, if you like the complexion of my flesh tone, it's real easy to mix up. You just take some red, mix a little white into it, thin it down to almost like a pink, and then you add a little bit of yellow ochre to it, and you just keep adding that yellow ochre, like I said, a little bit at a time until it gets to the exact shade that you want. And I think it's honestly pretty spot on. And where we highlighted that brown, we're gonna go over top of it. It should give us a nice cool little look when it dries. Some shadowing underneath there.
It senses seismic vibration. It can hear every move we make, especially on this rock. It's a perfect conductor.
That means we're stuck. That pisses me off.
Sorry about movies and stuff in the background. I just don't like to work in quiet. Normally, I have music playing. But I keep running into issues because of copyright, obviously. And that's just a nuisance. So, unless y'all want to hear some crummy public domain songs, we'll have to wait till I figure something else out. Yeah, hopefully you can see how it's starting to take some shape. It'd be a little better if we had his body taken care of, but we're getting there. And you want to do on the face here, you want to make sure it's real thin with your flesh tones. That way this black pock marks for his stubble shows through real well.
That's why Edgar never got down off that damn tower.
I think I have an idea.
You know, we're gonna have to call the some sort of place. Don't wait us to death.
Yeah, well,
Why don't we just make a run for it? We outran him yesterday. Run for it? Runners not a plan. The runners what to do when the plan fails. No, that's all right. They're not even run up there. Well, they like we got a couple of hours. Always on to it. You gotta think of it, that's all. All right, why don't you start thinking? What the hell will all of you go with me? God made you Einstein.
we just stay where they can't get us. On these residual boulders. My truck's parked right next to one.
Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Kind of crazy seeing him in 3 dimensions now. Trying to make sure his camera angle is perfect. Gotta make up some ground for a mess up yesterday. Everything was going so well too. Alrighty. Now I think once this dries, what we'll do is we'll come in with the brown and we'll dry brush a little bit of the brown to really accentuate the look we're going for with some stubble. Alright, let's go ahead and do his little toe sticking out of his sock. Yeah, he doesn't wear shoes, he wears socks with holes in them. And his little spandex or leotard or whatever he wears, his knees or elbows are popping through. There we go. Don't forget the fingers on the back. Now, I will admit, hands and finger details, as far as carving, are a bit of a weak suit for me. I think a lot of people have a hard time getting, like when they're drawing, I mean carving, kind of similar to drawing. Instead of using a pencil, you're using a knife. But anyway, for some reason, it's just hard to really make a believable hand. You notice a lot of my carvings, the hands or some that I've done with feet are kind of crude. Just general rough shapes that are kind of refined a little bit. But I think these turned out pretty decent. Alrighty. Might as well do our eyes real quick. Alrighty. Oh shoot. Hopefully these camera angles are good doing this eye here, because it's in a precarious little spot. Alrighty, got that one. Let's try and do this next one. Alright, boom. A little creepy without pupils, but hey, it'll do. Let's go ahead and start doing our green. It's just a light green. It's called light green. Yeah, no silly name. I don't know why a lot of these acrylics have just silly names. And I use it's still a small brush, but I call it a small medium brush to start with, to get up as close as you can, and then we come back in once we have the majority of it on with our tiny brush to do the trim work. little stiff. Let's see. Be careful not to break the legs, but it's really the only handhold I have at the moment. But hopefully y'all can see now what I was talking about when I wanted something vibrant. It's real bright green, and then you add his little red cape to it, and just the character itself is just kind of goofy, funny little character. I'm trying to think of some other things I can carve, that way when I go to paint them they have a real vibrant color. But like I've said before, it all depends on how interesting I find the character that I'm trying to do. If I don't find that character interesting, it's really hard for me to get interested in it. Alright. Right to the back here. Alright, time to switch brushes. Let's see, where can I hold? Oh man, this brush is still a little too big for that area. Alright. We'll go ahead and do the legs, and then we'll bring out the even smaller brush. See, whether it's your wood carving knives or paint brushes, it's always good to have a variety. That way you're not getting frustrated trying to make do with something that just doesn't work how you need it to work. Because the whole purpose of these is just for fun, relaxation. If you're getting frustrated or irritated, then something ain't right. I'm gonna switch out of the brush. It just bugging me. Really need to get some time-lapse stuff for you guys, because I'm sure this is like watching paint dry. One of my corny jokes. Haven't done one in a while. Alright, it's looking good. Alright, let's finish up down here. Hopefully you can tell by how light this green is that had we tried to do some of our shading outlines in black, how it would just destroy it. You'd have these very distinct black lines showing through that would just look terrible. Alrighty, boom. There he is from the front. So now we need to do our trim here in the back. Sorry, trying to get up in the crevices of the arms real quick. Touch up around the elbow. Touch up around his glove and his little butt cheeks here. Rotate him slow so we can see if there's any other areas we've missed. We'll touch up elbow. We laid on the paint pretty thin here in the back, didn't we? That's better. Touch up some of these thin areas real quick. Alrighty. Just because it's bugging me, we're going to dot his pupils real quick. We're in the home stretch now, guys. I know this clip is running a bit long. Shoot. Hand slipped a little bit there. Alright. There, good, okay, cool. Try and lengthen that pupil a little bit. Yeah, I dig it. Now he's got a face, for real. Now all we have to do is put the brown on the gloves and we'll be done with the paint job. We had a little bit of tear out on this side of the wood, which was surprising. Because I've been bragging about how good this block of wood's been this whole time. And we have one little problem area there. Bada bing, bada bing. Got a little bit of green trim to touch up on the wrists areas.
Distract them somehow?
Yeah, good. Something to keep them busy, like a decoy.
Hey, Melvin, wanna make a buck?
How about the tractor?
Want this little tractor? Sorry, you want.
It ain't going by itself. Just those things follow him all over me like that noise.
Not bad. What do you think?
You're out getting closer, Earl.
Yeah.
I say we go with Miguel's plan. Just hold on, Davey. I'm making the run for the cat.
I was going to carve these feet to be articulated. I don't know if that's the proper word to use, but I was going to carve him to look like an actual foot since he's wearing a sock, with the arch and everything.
Guess I'll have to do it.
But that would pose a problem with him standing, and he already has a really big problem standing, so I scratched that. I thought about it with some upcoming carvings, and maybe doing like most people do, where they carve a base onto it too. So imagine him with like a little pedestal underneath or something that he's standing on. That way he stands up right. But to me, it kind of takes away from it a little bit. Instead of it looking like the character, it looks like a statue of the character. I mean, not that what I do is lifelike or anything. Just that I try and do stuff that's more pleasing to the eye, I guess is what I'm trying to say. When you add something to the base of them like that and give them the look that they're obviously stationary, just to me it takes away from it. But to each their own. So anybody else out there does that, good on you. Not knocking you. And it alleviates any problems of a bugger wanting to stand up.
Help! Stop! They're coming! Be quiet! Don't move!
And I always paint the bottom because I see it as kind of a way of sealing the wood. Not that they're going to get wet or anything, but hey, stuff happens, so.
We gotta make some noise. A lot of noise. Hey, you sorry sons of bitches! Hey, someone get behind it!
Alrighty. A little bit green. Touch up around those wrists that I noticed. Got that one.
Let's get it, girl. Stop getting so thick.
Alright. Alright, I managed to dab some green up there. Touch that up. little an angle there. Oh shit. There we go. Alright, for the final little touch. Okay, dry brush, just a little of this brown. So what I do is I get the brush, lightly get some brown on it, and then now we're just gonna brush it on. And all it is it's kind of darkening it up a little bit to give it some of a natural look. Like I say, it's an animated character, so obviously can't be too natural. But it also gives us a transition from the top of the head to the face. And it'll be a breakup where the nose is too, since all that is just so close to each other. Alrighty. Looks kind of like a bandit now. You ever seen those like old silent films? It's hilarious. Alrighty. And there we go, guys. Hopefully, hope everything's in the camera angle. We've completed our paint job. All we gotta do is wait for them to dry. Then we can attach the cape, and we'll be back.